This program is proudly brought to you by Toyota.
Well, good afternoon, everybody. Here we are again on Tuesday, the 15th of the 6th. I'm Barry here alongside Alex Taylor, and this is episode 109 now. Welcome along to it. Today, we're going to talk about good casserole dishes and making sure that they're fit for your oven. But we'll open the show with that in a minute. Okay. Now, if you listeners are wondering about Saturday, well, there could be a problem, but I'm sure my outsider will be able to figure that out. So, as the saying goes, we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. And it's a beautiful, sunny Tuesday afternoon here. And it's like a picture postcard. And now here's Alex. Good afternoon to you. How's your 2 weeks gone?
Oh, mate, really well. Yeah, pretty busy, but really good. And yeah, it is a nice, beautiful day today, isn't it? It's really, really lovely day. It doesn't really feel like winter. It feels more like autumn than winter, doesn't it?
Yeah, so today on the show we're going to talk about casserole basics and organizing things properly. Okay, we'll start with organizing things properly. Okay, don't just turn up to a radio studio when it's not booked. Okay, because other people may be booked before you. Here's Alex to open episode 109 with this.
Yeah, thanks, Barry. Yeah, absolutely. It's a good idea to be organised and to make sure that you book things before you're going to use them. And it's just a good practice to have, isn't it? So whether it's a radio studio that you're going to use or anything, in fact, really good idea to book it up ahead to make sure it's available and then everything will go to plan.
So, if you find that none of the microphones are working, okay, please don't fly off the handle because it's not the way to go. So, Alex, what happened to you on Saturday when you were with Menton?
Oh, mate, it was pretty tricky. So we discovered as soon as we started practicing for Wenton's recording, we discovered that there was a nasty feedback sound in the headphones, and then we discovered that 3 of the microphones weren't working. And we tried changing some of the settings and turning things on and off and tried changing different inputs as well, and none of it worked. So I even contacted Andrew, the studio manager, and he wasn't sure what was wrong, but said he would look at it later that day. And in the end, we bumped out to Studio One, and we did just a little recording in Studio One. And since then, I've had a chat with Menton, and we've decided we're just going to record the whole show again. So we might start from scratch. We'll wait to make sure that we can use a working studio, and we'll just start again.
So what was the show about?
So he had a few things to talk about. He likes to talk about some sport. He talks about what it's like to live with a disability in Sydney. He likes to talk about all sorts of different things. Sometimes holiday ideas and that kind of thing. And his music in the show
On the show?
was a whole bunch of music, I guess, from the 80s. So Bruce Springsteen, Bon Jovi, Dire Straits, Weddings, Parties, Anything. Do you remember them?
Yes.
Bit of Talking Heads and The Cars. So, yeah, all a bunch of music from kind of the 80s. And so that was kind of the theme of the show.
So, for those listening wondering if I'm going to have a show on Saturday, well, to be confirmed. Okay, so like we say, we will cross that bridge when we come to it.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm still optimistic it'll go ahead. So we've just got to make sure that Studio 2 is working. If it's not, then we're going to try and move to Studio 1. So there's still a really good chance that we'll go ahead on Saturday. And if we don't, in the worst case, in the unlikely event that we can't go ahead on Saturday, we'll just bump it out to another time. So we'll just maybe try for the weekend after or the weekend after that. We'll just try and find another time, and we'll actually just go straight to booking Studio 1.
Yeah. So that's radio for you. So you'll have to wait, listeners, until Saturday, and I will confirm. My upside will confirm with me sometime in the next day or so.
Hopefully today, mate. And
hopefully today.
That's community radio for you, isn't it? So those guys, they're not sort of flush with cash, and they have kind of a bit of old equipment, and sometimes it breaks from time to time.
So the most important thing is, don't fly off the handle, because it's not the way to go. But that's not what we're talking about today. Okay, so I've covered the intro now. Now on to segment 2. Do you remember we brought up a segment on casseroles and good casserole basics? Yep. Well, Alec and I are going to bring it up again now. Always have a good working oven, guys, for your casserole dishes. Here he is to tell you about it.
Absolutely, mate. Yeah, so casseroles, they work really well in the oven, don't they? And particularly slow cooked casseroles. Good to have a nice oven with an even temperature, and then you can make some really yummy winter food.
And always have good fresh ingredients, guys, because that we also say on the show. Check the date when you purchase your meat, and if it smells off, throw it in the bin. Here's Alec.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a really important one, isn't it? So you've got to make sure that your meat is fresh, doesn't smell bad, and that really does go for all of your ingredients, doesn't it? You want to have nice fresh ingredients, all of your ingredients that goes into your casserole.
And if you're making the casserole in advance, okay, and you want to freeze it, okay, look up on what freezes and what doesn't, okay, because that is very important. Here's Alec.
Yeah, it's a good idea to do some research, isn't it? Figure out if your casserole can be frozen. I think a lot of them can. And in fact, they're quite nice when they're heated up again, aren't they? It's quite nice to have a quick meal in the freezer that you can just defrost and then have fairly easily. In fact, it's a great way of sort of prepping meals in advance, isn't it?
So if you've had a long meeting that has gone on into the afternoon and early evening, okay, you must cook your meal and stick it in the freezer until you are ready to cook it. Because guys, there's nothing worse than coming home late from a meeting and you think, oh damn, I'm gonna cook. Well, Alec and I have the solution for you right now. Don't stress because you've got something in the freezer which you can go whack it in the oven or microwave or the oven. So make sure your oven is at the right temperature before you put anything in. Here's up.
Yeah, absolutely, mate. It's a great idea, isn't it? It's a quick meal idea to defrost something that's in the freezer and just heat it up. And lots of meals can work like that, and particularly casseroles. So casseroles are a really good meal to have frozen in the freezer, and you can heat them up fairly easily.
So always buy good casserole dishes, okay? Don't buy cheap, crappy, nasty ones. Here's Alec.
Yeah, so it's great to have a nice dish, isn't it? And then if you do, then it'll last a long time, and it'll cook well as well. So it'll cook your casseroles really well. So and you can actually get decades out of a good casserole dish, can't you? So they can last and last and last if you buy a nice quality one.
And we're going to share with you a recipe today on the show. And it will be, if I can just pause that for a second. Welcome back. Today's recipe is beef stew. Now, there's nothing more heartwarming, there's nothing better like a heartwarming meal to come home to after you've been out playing sport with the kids. Here's Alan.
Oh, absolutely. It's a really yummy, filling meal, tasty, and you can also have some healthy things in there, some vegetables, all sorts of yummy things you can have, and yeah, it's a great easy meal as well.
So in this recipe, you've got 3 tablespoons of oil, but 900 grams of casserole steak, stewing beef cut into 3 centimeter, 1.5 inch pieces, 2 onions coarsely chopped, 1 clove of garlic crushed, optional, 4 carrots coarsely chopped, okay, 1 tablespoon of plain all-purpose flour, a teaspoon of ground allspice, okay, salt and pepper, 100 ml of beer, of dark beer, 500 mils of 2 cups of beef stock broth, and 2 bay leaves, and 1 tablespoon of black treacle molasses or brown sugar. Now, I've never heard of beer going into a casserole before. Okay, and the first step is you heat your oven to 160 degrees and pulse. Gas mark 3, I think. Number 2 is heat the oil in a flame-proof casserole dish or in a large pan and add the meat in batches. Fry quickly to brown on all sides and remove the meat and set aside. Okay? Step 2. Add the chopped onions, garlic, and add carrots to the left of the casserole dish and cook for a few minutes until lightly brown. And number 4, sorry, add the flour or spice and pepper and cook for 1 minute, stirring before adding the meat, beef stock, okay, bay leaves, and molasses treacle to the pan. Okay, step 5, bring to the boil, stirring completely. Occasionally, add the meat and cover the dish. If using a pan, not put into a deep baking dish. Sprinkle, transfer to the oven and cook for 2 to 3 hours. Okay? Until the meat is very tender but not stringy. So there you are. Beef stew, guys. Look at that.
Yum.
And like I've just said, there is nothing more heartwarming. Well, there's nothing better than to come home to a nice, warm casserole. And what do you serve with a casserole? Either some veggies or some mash. Here's Alex.
Mate, that all sounded absolutely delicious and the picture looks fantastic. And yeah, you can serve with some veggies, some mashed potatoes. Some people have pasta with their casserole, which is interesting and can be nice. So yeah, you can have all sorts of things with it. I personally quite like to put some veggies in the casserole, put some potatoes in there, which can be quite yummy as well.
But remember, guys, don't use off ingredients, okay? Don't do that. Because why? Because you can become very, very sick. Food poisoning. Here's Alex.
Yeah, absolutely, mate. You always want to use fresh ingredients. It'll actually taste better if you use fresh ingredients as well. So you definitely don't want to make yourself or your guests sick, but you also want it to taste as nice as it possibly can.
And if you want to take some for lunch the next day, put it in a container and I will cut you another shot and continue with this. So, like I just said, if you'd like to take some for school or work the next day, and you've got a microwave, by all means go for it. It actually tastes better the next day in Alec now.
Yeah, absolutely. It's funny how that happens, isn't it? That quite often a stew will actually taste better the second day. Something about it intensifies, the flavors intensify, and they become stronger and even yummier on the next day. So, really good idea to have leftovers and maybe leftovers for lunch the next day.
And you can't go wrong with leftovers, guys, because why waste food? Think of the poor people overseas. Here's Alec.
Oh, that's very true, mate. We should all be doing that. We should always be using all of our food. Try not to throw things away. And with a thing like a casserole, you can very easily either keep it overnight and keep the leftovers and eat them the next day, or you can freeze some of them as well, right? So you can if you've cooked too much, you can very easily put it in a container in the freezer.
And how many casseroles have you cooked so far?
Oh, mate, hundreds. So I used to do quite a lot of cooking for my family, and a casserole was one of my favourites. I like a chicken casserole. I also quite like a beef or lamb casserole, and it is quite an easy thing to cook, although it does take quite a long time if you're doing a slow cook. But yeah, I've cooked many casseroles over the years. I like there's a chicken cacciatore recipe, which is a kind of French chicken casserole, which is quite nice. Although I do a few cheats with it, like I don't necessarily use the wine, and I think it's supposed to use a certain type of cured meat, like prosciutto or something, and I probably just use bacon. But yeah, made lots of casseroles over the years, and absolutely love them, mate. And I think your casserole recipe is a really good one. It sounds yummy. It's actually making me hungry for casserole. Just talking about it now. So yeah, would absolutely love some of that. And I think I might make one on the weekend. What do you reckon?
Well, now it's time to talk about mouth-watering desserts. Now, if you've got slices of bread that are becoming stale, why don't you make a bread and butter pudding? Here's Alec.
Right idea, mate. And that's another way of kind of reusing ingredients as well, isn't it? So it is kind of a good thing to do to make sure that things don't go to waste. And yeah, you can make bread and butter pudding. Do you know how to make it?
So what you do is grab some slices of bread, okay, layer it, and then make a custard. You can even put some fruit on the top of it. Here's Alec.
Wow, that sounds great, mate. And I imagine lots of people would like to eat that kind of thing for dessert, wouldn't they? Particularly after a nice casserole.
So why don't you get the kids involved this weekend and let them help in the kitchen? But remember, when there are kids in the kitchen, be very careful. Here's Alec.
Yeah, that's right. Particularly if they're little kids, it's always important to make sure that they stay safe. They understand about hot things and sharp things, and usually your best bet is to try and teach them. So if they're old enough, you can teach them how to avoid some of the risks in the kitchen and get them engaged, and they can help you with the cooking.
So this next segment is about how far this program has gone, because with 109 episodes, this is an achievement. Here's Alec.
Oh, mate, it really is. And that 109 is just the episodes in this series. And you've actually produced quite a few series over the years, haven't you? So all up, you probably have made, I don't know, many hundreds, if not thousands of episodes.
So let me take you back on a journey. This journey began in 2019 when I was interviewing Ali for the first time at Lifestyle Options. Here he is.
Yeah, mate. I remember all the way back then in 2019 was it was awesome to meet you up at Lifestyles, and I was a bit of a newbie, wasn't I? Like I was a new person, and it was just fantastic to meet you and all of the people up there at Lifestyles. And I'm trying to remember, was it Mel who was the manager of
I
Lifestyles?
think so.
Might have been Mel. She was the manager up there at that time. They've had a couple of managers since then. And we've been kind of doing it mostly continuously since then. We had a little break, didn't we, when you went up to Queensland? But we've been hanging out ever since then, which has been a lot of fun, mate, and produced a lot of videos, haven't we?
And as I said, and today, this is the 109th episode in the series. Now, when I finished my programs in Queensland and relocated to several studios, I'm just start that again. Okay, when I finished or concluded the same thing, my programs in Queensland, all my recording equipment came back by truck from Queensland, and I was doing some studio sessions at Wabash before relocating in May of 2023. And have I looked back since? Nope. Alec and I have been going super strong since I've come back. Here he is.
Mate, it's been an absolute blast, and yeah, ever since you came back, we've been hanging out from time to time. Sometimes up at Lifestyle, sometimes back here. There was a little patch, wasn't there, where you weren't going to Lifestyles at all, so I came down and visited you down here, and we went for a tour of the park over the road, and that was a lot of fun as well. So yeah, we've had a lot of fun over the years, and it's been an honour and a privilege, mate, to hang out with you.
And just think about my humble beginnings when I didn't have this. I had somebody hold a camera, which was very annoying. But in 2017, this baby came along and I was able to do some recording from here and with my laptop too. And the most exciting things were the intros and the outros. The first one, okay, was the Wheel of Fortune, and we then followed it up with Richmond Hill, and then Chopper Squad, and then Channel 9, and then The Young Doctors, and then we filmed a bit where we had the Hawkesbury River Bridge, and then cars coming out of a Brisbane tunnel. Here's Alex.
Yeah, they were all fantastic intros and outros, weren't they? And lots of fun to put together. I think some of them were very interactive, weren't they? So for the Young Doctors one, we actually did some filming of our own and dropped some of our own scenes into that intro.
And Sam couldn't control us.
She couldn't stop laughing, could she? She thought it was so much fun. And I think, didn't we also have who's Gus? It was Gus. He was a patient
Yeah.
that we were operating on. It was very, very cool. and lots of fun. That was a fun one. But I think there've been a bunch of fun ones. There was the one where we used footage from Manly. That was a lot of fun as well. We used the sound from a TV show. What was the sound from, mate?
The Young Doctors,
Was it? Wasn't it something Hill?
Richmond Hill.
Might have been Richmond Hill, or maybe the Young Doctors. I don't know, but yeah, that was a fun one as well. Lots of footage of you cruising around Manly, and yeah, there've been some fantastic ones. I think there was a Channel 9 intro as well in there. I don't know if you mentioned that one. That was a cool one.
And after the Leyland Brothers, we
That's right. Yeah, there was a little Leyland Brothers clip, and yeah, awesome fun. That we've had a lot of fun doing the intros and outros over the years. And I think the first one, the sound from Sale of the Century.
no, Wheel of Fortune.
Wheel of Fortune, you said that before, didn't you? Yeah, so the sound from Wheel of Fortune, and I think we used like an Albert Namatjira picture, and then, yeah, and had like a title page, like a title page. Barry Fear Productions, I think, something like that, wasn't it?
Yeah, and with Barry Fair presents, and then this has been,
Oh, yes.
and then only use 000 in an emergency,
That's right.
and then see you later.
Yeah. So, yeah, they've been fantastic over the years, haven't they? All the different intros and outros. And now you use them all interchangeably, don't you? So sometimes you kind of mix and match them, and you might use you might use a different one for each different video, and they're all very cool and very fun. I think another good one was the Chopper Squad, right? That was another.
Yeah, that was a good one.
Yeah,
We featured Mel
that's right.
North into that.
Yeah, that was cool, very cool, and a lot of fun. So yeah, they have been an enormous amount of fun over the years, and the videos have been great too.
So, with episode 109 in progress for filming, you know, I've been absolutely blessed to bring you 109 episodes. Now, who would have thought I would not go this far from 2023 to now? So how many years is that?
2023 to now, 3 years, mate. Yeah, 3
So
years.
3 years I have been constructing this program. My first program without Alex was on May 29th, and I had a staff member filming here with me, and we've even done food reviews as well. So we have come such a long way with the intros, the outros, and so many topics. Here's Alex.
Yeah, we absolutely have. Yeah, the food reviews have been fun, and lots of recipes, and they've been very helpful. Sometimes we've talked about weather events. You've had lots of interesting topics, haven't you, on your show? Lots of really interesting things to talk about, and they've been a lot of fun to film.
So just before we go today, just a reminder that don't forget our show is coming up this Friday evening from 6:30. So if you're in the St. Ives area, come along and see some of the wonderful art on display. Here's Alex.
Yeah, that's a great idea, mate. And is that the art show that's at the shopping centre?
No, it's in our old studio.
Oh, up at St Ives Lifestyles.
Yeah.
Fantastic. That's awesome. So, an art show, an exhibition up at St Ives Lifestyles.
Yeah.
What's the address, mate, up there?
I can't give it out on the show.
don't you think people might want to go along to the exhibition?
Okay, well, it's
So
not,
maybe they can look it up. Yeah, they can look it up.
yeah.
Yeah.
So, with this program, we've done a good run of shows, and the sad one too, when Alec and I said goodbye for a while. Here he is.
Yeah, so are you talking about when you went up to Brisbane?
Yeah,
Yeah, it was a bit sad, wasn't it? But we stayed in touch. I kept watching your videos and we talked from time to time. And it was interesting to stay in touch. And then you eventually decided to come back, didn't you? So you were up there for about, what, 10 months?
yeah.
Yeah, and then decided to come home and eventually it wound up back here, right, at where you live.
And it's easier for me because I don't have to worry about thinking, no, am I going to get this show finished? And with a blink of an eye, guys, here I am now about to put the last installment into episode 109. The time is now 19 minutes before 5. Now is the last piece on today's show. Well, we hope that you've enjoyed today's show and episode 109. Thank you very much for coming on board with us. We do hope that you will join us for episode 110 in 2 weeks from this time. Okay, so like I just said now, it has been an absolute honor bringing the shows to you from episode 1 in March of 2023. The show that just gone, whoop, here's Alex.
Yeah, they sure have done that, mate. They've been a lot of fun and they've been fantastic, from strength to strength. And it's been an awesome time, hasn't it? It's been great, a great journey since 2023. And it was also fantastic before then as well, right? I think those years were sensational as well. So I look back on them very fondly.
So we do hope that you will join us next time around on episode 110 here in the studio. And next time on the show, we're going to be talking about our favorite TV shows. So look out for that. And the message that I always close each program with, the emergency number 00. Please do not fiddle around with that number and call it with stupid prank trivial issues. Here's Alec now to close episode 109 with this.
Yeah, thanks, mate. Always a good community service announcement. Only use 000 in an emergency.
And we do hope to have a radio show on Saturday, but to be confirmed.
Yeah, I reckon it'll go ahead, but I will let you know as soon as I know about what will happen then, mate. We should assume it's going ahead for now.
So thank you so much, everybody, for tuning in and watching episode 109. Here's Alec now to say his farewell to you now.
Thanks, Barry. Thanks for having me on the show. It's been a lot of fun.
And we look forward to you joining us next time around on episode 110. So please do come on the wagon with us. Here's Alex.
Yeah, looking forward to it, mate. It'll be another great episode next time around.
So we'll catch you next time round on the Barry Fair program. And the time is coming up to 4:45 here. So you have a great Tuesday night and we'll see you in 2 weeks. Join us then. But from Alex Taylor and myself, it's a very good early evening to you and to all the viewers. Thanks for joining us today on episode 109. Bye bye now.
This program is proudly brought to you by Toyota.